15 love. Love.
Pretty big serving from Pouille. 2 first serves over 130 miles an hour. Second serve at 98. It's not that big. 6-1.
Thirty 15.
And there you can see
40-15.
if we had an opportunity to really unload and hit a pretty big aggressive ball, directed it to the Nadal forehand. Nadal, I guess, doing the right thing. That's what he would have done in the past. Just tried to redirect that up the line.
Yeah.
A nice bit of power to go cross court from corner to corner for Pouille as he holds for 1 love. Pouille gained some notoriety, to say the least, when he got to the quarterfinals at Wimbledon. That's his best result at a major prior. He's trying to equal that here. He defeated Juan Martín del Potro in 4 sets, then defeated Bernard Tomic 10-8 in the 5th before he fell to Burdick. He has been nursing, though, a bit of injury and illness in that time, entering New York following his quarterfinal run at Wimbledon, just 2-2. But now he's put 3 in a row together to earn himself a spot opposite Nadal. The injury, most notably, is lower back area, sort of in the lumbar region. He had to pull out of the brand new event in Los Cabos in Mexico.
Nadal to serve.
Wasn't able to travel, and maybe just that little bit of respite helped Pouille get back to the form that has seen him at his new career high ranking a couple weeks ago at 21 in the world. No signs of being bothered by the lower back here in New York through his opening 3 rounds. Nadal to serve for the first time today.
Love.
Difficult adjustment to make as Nadal charges forward, and it just clips the tap of the tape. Say that 10 times fast, Taylor.
That was big hitting from Pouille. Really,
15, 30.
I mean, I never like to use the word flattening out the ground strokes because I feel like most of the players today really use a lot of spin and they hit it forward. They might flatten out the trajectory, but not the spin. But Pouille's definitely flattening out the backhand and trying to drive right through the Nadal forehand.
Well, we know a lot of our viewers are tennis aficionados and really into the game, but for those who might not understand what you're talking about, explain more of the flat out, taking less spin or just less net clearance?
Well, and that's what I mean. You kind of have to separate the two because they're two totally different. Like Jack Sock has the spinniest forehand, and he can hit a ball low over the net. So technically, I guess that's flattening out the trajectory. But what I'm talking about in Pouille's case is he's taking spin off the ball and getting it to drive and skip through the hard court. And that just rushes Nadal's big swing.
Pouille putting pressure on Nadal early. He was only broken 5 times in the opening 3 rounds. But he's broken right from the outset.
Pouille.
6 minutes in, and Lucas Pouille out in front, 2-love.
Against the love. First set.
Well, one of the aspects that you had to admire, just if you were privy to the pre-match interviews, Pouille was asked, you know, what's the difference between now and May of 2015 in Monte Carlo when you lost 2-1 to Nadal on clay, mind you? And he said, "Oh, I'm a different player. I mean, this is a guy who back then just wasn't sure where he was going. He was hoping to be moving up, but wasn't even in the top 100 at the time. It was just about getting experience." He says, now I put match wins together. I've been a quarterfinalist at a major. Rafa's not going to recognize the new incarnation that is Luca Pouille.
Wow, that's really good stuff. This guy has great width on the court. He's really able to take some pace off, hit a nice sharp angle, pull Nadal out. And again, anytime you get your opponent outside of those alleys, outside of the singles line, it really opens the avenues of winning points up greatly. If your opponent's stuck in the middle of the court, like Pouille is right now, it's tough to win points. You're just basically hoping that they miss.
Fifteen all.
Love that play. Lefties do that to right-handers all the time. They slide them out wide. Lefties do on the ad side, and then they just sneak in, and they have an easy volley to put away. I think that serve and volley is kind of out of style right now, but for a right-hander, that is the best place to get it done.
Said by a pretty efficient serve and volleyer himself. I'd like to see more of that. And it worked to perfection, isn't it? A little taste of their own medicine for the lefties that are able to accomplish that. Pouille has been dynamite to start. I dare say dominant. When was the last time you even imagined that you'd see Rafael Nadal in the opening 3 games of a match held to just a single point in each? That's where he stands currently as Pouille tries to slam the door on a second hold emphatically.
Forty, 30.
A stern effort and impressive beginning for Luca Pouille.
Love.
Wow. Really great recovery from Pouille. Obviously, Nadal started that point really well with a forehand angle.
15-0.
And that's one of the things that you have to do against somebody that has such a big weapon like Nadal's forehand is you have to play aggressive defense. I mean, if you just make balls, that's all you're going to be doing is playing defense. You have to hit your way out of trouble.
Just a bit long from Pouille, who's trying to stretch out Rafa,
30-15.
use depth to keep the Spaniard back. Rafa wouldn't have really seen much unless he was watching on TV Pouille's run to the quarterfinals at Wimbledon. Remember, the Spaniard sat out the championships this year because of a left wrist injury. No doubt back home in Manacor, Mallorca. Working on his fitness and trying to return to top form, and there's the forehand looking more formidable now as he's loosened up.
I think that it's just a sign, you know, Nadal's struggles recently, that the field has just been catching up to the top players.
There's Abuela, Isabel Omar, Rafa's grandmother, in attendance along with Mama and Papa Nadal as well.
The family, the
Tio.
entourage. I think he's got like 30 people here.
That'll feel a lot better.
There's that play we were talking about.
What's that called? Serving
Out wide to the righty's backhand.
Uh-oh. There's the camp. They're delighted to see Rafa finally on the board after 4 games. Abuela seems pleased. And there's the rest of the camp. Dad in the center in the orangish shirt. Mama 1 seat behind. Sebastian always willing to defer to Uncle Tony when necessary, but obviously a vested interest in Vidas, her mother Anna Maria. Don't forget to go to usopen.org if you want to see results from the day as well as draws, and you could do so now if you want to know who either Pouille, there's Anna Maria, and Sebastian Nadal, Mama and Papa respectively. If you want to know who they're playing in the next round, the winner of this match to move on, it's already been decided. So we're going to give you a moment. usopen.org. What's impressing you so far about Pouille overall?
I think that his willingness to do something when Nadal doesn't. You know, Nadal has had glimpses of playing aggressive tennis and moving Pouille around the court, but at the times that he hasn't, Pouille has taken initiative, and he's been the one pushing Nadal around, which, you know, when Nadal was in the zone, that wasn't happening. Even that point, I like that point from Nadal. And also what impresses me with Pouille is his defense. You know, I mentioned it earlier. He's not just making balls. He's not getting it back. At this level, it's just not good enough to hit another ball in the court. You're never going to see it again. You have to hit your way out of trouble.
Quality stuff from Pouille thus far. His easiest hold, as he does so to love, to get to 4-1, and that's saying something. Tropical storm Aimé. But it's left beautiful skies overhead here in Flushing Meadows. Just absolutely magnificent. All the more reason, though, to forego going to the beach and the barbecues on this holiday weekend and try to find a ticket here on the grounds of this revamped, expanded facility. At a record number yesterday coming into the grounds, 40,000 for a single day. Manolo Santana, the Spaniard icon of tennis, instrumental in the Masters 1000 event in Madrid. Goodness, one of the courts has his name on it. And also obviously esteemed in the eyes of winning major titles. Nadal just hasn't seemed to find the rhythm yet against Pouille. As we said, this is a different Luca Pouille than he faced in Monte Carlo last year. Really taking Rafa to task early. Well, Taylor, I'll pose to you, there were two pretty terrific shots in there. One, Nadal made something that was ridiculous, almost looked more routine than it could possibly be, but Pouille, to his credit, didn't get distracted, stuck with it, and stayed in the point.
He did, and he actually very disciplined shot back cross court to Nadal's backhand. I thought he was going to go for the big winner up the line on the forehand.
Inroads once again on Nadal's serve here in this opening set. Magnificent return.
Incredible. Incredible. And he followed up with a very, very good, accurate approach shot.
Very disciplined. Luca Pouille arrives at an insurance break and the chance to serve out the opening set as Nadal has been rocked. 21 of the 30 points have gone to the 24 seed.
That's great playing from Nadal. And Pouille's made such a big improvement, like we've talked about over the past year. And generally, the improvements that a younger player has to make and embrace when they start playing the big boys, like Nadal and the top 20 guys, is two things are different at this level than any other level. The pace and the power at which the players hit the tennis ball, and the physicality, how fast they are, how strong they are, and how much pressure they put on you with their movement. Tremendous stuff. I mean, that is dialed in. Lucas Pouille
Nadal making a tremendous effort in playing defense, but Pouille never wavered.
That must be, I think that might be one of the best
leads
points
5
I've
against the
seen
1 for
in the
set.
tournament so far. I mean, both of the guys ripping every ball a couple inches to a foot away from the sideline. Every single rally that point, every single ball that point, and ripping it big. Pouille up 2 breaks now. Unbelievable.
Serving for the set, having just lost 3 points thus far from the line.
And going back to what I was talking about, is the reason why guys get to this level and then don't progress any further. Unlike what Pouille's done, they'll get a taste of this. They either can't embrace how big you need to strike the ball to stay out of trouble, or they don't embrace how hard you have to physically work and how strong and fast and fit you need to be to sustain it at this level.
That's going to be the key, too. That word you just used, sustain. If he holds on here, takes this opening set 6-1, marvelous stuff. Yeah, that's going to be the question. I mean, this is fantastic tennis at his highest level. What's had him knocking on the door of the top 20 thus far. Can he sustain this through another 2 sets?
Yeah, you know, Nadal isn't playing that bad. He's just outplaying him right now. He's serving better. He's more offensive from the baseline. He's getting to the net and finishing points more often. Every facet of the game, Pouille's just dominating.
30
Well, he's human after all. Offers it up his first double fault against the 1 ace that he's produced. Still 2 points from setting back Rafa a set. Just a bit unlucky as that topspin for Nadal. Well played and constructed point for Pouille, but just jumps off too rapid a rate. Nadal with his first opportunity to break on the afternoon.
Nadal's in a tough spot. You know, he's trying to play a little aggressive and not feeling the ball as well as he'd like, and every time he plays a little bit more safe, Pouille just has him running left and right around the court. Tough spot to be in.
22 out of 40 this tournament is Rafael Nadal. He certainly had a lot of looks in the opening 3 rounds. Never less than at least a dozen in each match. And able to convert at least 7 in each as well. So he had an abundance of chances at the opposition through rounds 1 through 3. But now, Luca Pouille holds set point.
Game and first set.
Finishes off with his second ace. The exclamation point on a
6 games to
fantastic
1.
opening
Blue balls,
set
please.
as Rafael Nadal drops the first set of his 2016 U.S. Open. Looking to hit the big giant reset button. Nadal will start set 2 from the line. Real Madrid in the house. Raul to the left there. in Nadal's box, one of the standouts for that football club. It is the favorite of Rafael Nadal. Well, he brings an entourage.
He has this year.
Familia, amigos, abuela.
Thirty-long. $30-15.
What do you be looking for as telltale signs that Pouille might be seeing his mind affected by the fact he's holding a one-set lead over the two-time champion here?
Well, we'll just see if he can maintain this level of play. I guess I'd look for two things. Is he going to start backing off on defense, because that's been impressive, and is he going to start missing those easy balls like the first forehand this game? You know, he sprayed that sitter wide. Or is he going to back off, you know, on those easier balls and just start to rally? If he does any of those things, again, beating these guys, you're on such a razor-thin margin that you can't really mess around too much with things that are working.
You wouldn't expect it to be that much of a change this early. One-set lead. Okay. Now, if you have a two-set lead and you're close to another quarterfinal, you really start to ponder where you are. That's where things can get, well, that razor edge becomes even more fun.
Again, I wouldn't judge the misses too much. I tend to judge the shot selection. You know, what's gotten him up a set has been, you know, pretty aggressive play. He's not 10 feet behind the baseline just making balls.
Well, Nadal starts the second set with a hold.
First game, second set.
And that'll make him feel a lot better, as it does for his fans. As the first set the Spaniard has dropped in New York this tournament puts him behind early. You see the flames on the left foot of Rafael Nadal, demarcating the years that he won this title in 2010, becoming just the 7th man to hold a career Grand Slam. And 3 years later, triumphing for a second time here. And Pouille forced to wait for just a moment and contemplate. Well, we've teased you long enough. Some of you were probably saying, I'm watching this match on television. I don't have my tablet or my handheld or my computer right at my side. You keep talking about how we can go to the website to find it out, who they play next. Let's just let you off the hook. Gaël Monfils, a fellow Frenchman to Pouille, is already through. He reached the quarterfinals earlier today with a victory over Marcos Baghdatis and has looked great, Taylor. He hasn't dropped a set to the last 8.
He did, and Baghdatis made him play an offensive style to win, so he's looking sharp on both ends. The defensive Monfils that we're used to seeing, and today, the offensive Monfils spreading the court out, coming in, and finishing points at net.
Lucas Pouille, one of 3 Frenchmen into the round of 16, trying to make the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open. Took the opening set from Rafael Nadal in dramatic style. We already know Gaël Monfils has advanced. Pouille trying to join him, and Jo-Wilfried Tsonga in action currently, as if 2 are able to advance. It'll be the first time in the open era at least 2 Frenchmen have advanced to the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open. First time since, well, 3rd time overall, mind you. First time was in '99, Pouille and Escude. 2015, Tsonga was joined by Gasquet. Pouille making a valiant effort thus far. And if all three advance, it'll be the first time in the open era that 3 Frenchmen have advanced to the quarterfinals at any Grand Slam. So they're trying to fly the flag valiantly here on this middle Sunday.
That was a great point by Nadal. That's one of the handful of times on Pouille's serve that he was able to actually turn the point around. Go from defense running side to side, stay in aggressive, keep the ball deep, turn it into offense, and put Pouille on the run.
Pouille having a bit of difficulty here dealing with this match, having a 1-set lead. The only other time they've met was in Monte Carlo last year. It was Nadal winning 6-2, 6-1. Only took Pouille 10 minutes to bust out to a 3-love start in the opening set. Never looked back. Behind 8 winners and 5 unforced errors, holding Nadal to just 4 winners. The Spaniard committing 8 errors and 2 breaks of serve. He only lost 20 games in the opening 3 rounds. Pouille hands him 6 lost in the opening set alone, and now the Frenchman's starting to feel a bit of that smothering action that comes off of Rafael Nadal. Missed out on his only break point in the 7th game of the opening set. Now with a chance to start out 2-love himself. Sturdy.
And anytime you see a drop shot, it always looks good when it works out, but it just feels kind of like a bailout.
Well, look at the shoulders of Pouille after he hit it. It was almost one of those like, come on, come on, come on, get there. Oh, thank you. Nadal.
Doing drop shots 40-love up is one thing. Doing it break point down.
And Rafa will get another look at 2-love. And the head just a bit forward for Pouille, showing perhaps he recognizes how Nadal has ignited the fire inside once again. After a somewhat muted start. And Nadal with a break. Fair to say there's a few members of Nadal Nation here in Arthur Ashe Stadium today.
Nadal leads 2-love, 2nd set.
That's what we were talking about a moment ago, is it just doesn't take much. I mean, Pouille was playing at such a high level to be up 6-1, and if he backs off that just a couple of %, it goes the other way.
Please. $15.
This time he wouldn't allow that net court hop to get away from him. Good adjustments from Rafa as he's greedy now to start this set.
30 love.
He doesn't like being shown up, and Pouille really took him to task in the opening frame. Rafa looking to return the favor. 12 of the first 17 points in this set.
$40-15.
Now the scenario has flipped. Exactly the same start as set number one, just the names are different. Nadal, 3-love to begin set two.
Love, second set.
Lucas Pouille at the line, serving love 3, second set. Oh, it just floats past, and this is where things start to get dicey. You can't help but think that Nadal has worked his way right into the psyche. He's right in that cerebral cortex, screaming at Pouille, I'm coming for you.
And tennis is such a unique sport where if I play 1% better, that means you play 1% worse. I directly impact your level of play. Nadal's feeling it, though. That was another great point. What I mean by that is if we play a match and you win 55 points and I win 45 points, if I just play 1 or 2% better, I'm taking points away from you and I'm adding those to myself. So Nadal only has to raise his level 5% and it ends up being an absolute bloodbath from Pouille's perspective.
Yeah, he literally has to stop the bleeding right now if he wants to maintain any presence, because Rafa is trying to wrestle this away. We're not talking soft patty cake type wrestling, little padding here and there. He is literally trying to get this thing in a headlock and take it down and pin Pouille. He was just trying to find some presence. Remember, Pouille, in his first 9 majors, only posted 2 victories. That's it, just 2 match wins. Now in his second consecutive major, on the doorstep of potentially another quarterfinal run as he did at Wimbledon, he's 7-1 in the grass court and this final major combined. That's quite a dramatic turnaround. Wasn't really, as we mentioned earlier, able to really parlay that into much success of late because of a lower back injury. Only came in winning 2 of his last 4 matches before this nice little run of 3 straight. Has to get on the scoreboard. And he does. That'll feel a lot better the way the tide had shifted.
And when you're faced with this, we're going to see a review here. It did. Basically, you either have to raise your level to beat up Nadal or hope that he drops.
This did look like it was sort of given a little slider outside sort of curve, but it did find the line. Redemption for the line judge who indicated it would be good. And Pouille is on the board.
And for Pouille to raise his level, I mean, where does he have to take that? How well did he play the first set?
Remarkably.
It's unbelievable.
USOpen.org is where you can pick up merchandise such as the player towels, caps, shirts, anything you need with US Open on it is available. Go ahead and search the website For all things for the final major each year, usopen.org.
Ooh, there's a little bit more what we saw in the first set. Spoke so much about him driving that backhand straight through the court, through the Nadal forehand.
Pretty even on both wings as far as productivity today. Of his 13 winners, 4 from the forehand, and the backhand has been pretty sturdy, 5 from that side. Oh, nice pickup, and Rafa punches out. Feeling good.
That was good. It was a great pickup. But you know what makes that shot easy is where Pouille was. Pouille was almost in the stands because of the serve that Nadal hit. All Nadal had to do was just make that thing, keep it low, and Pouille has no play.
I'll watch the turn immediately, the 360 ready in case Pouille makes a play. Admires his work, and there's the punch. Vamos. Flashes of brilliance from the Frenchman. Nadal tested him. He asked the question, didn't he?
14-13.
How do you handle yourself at the net, young man? 6 of 8 today, with that 6th one being pretty impressive. Manuel looking pretty stoic at the moment, though his charge is up 1 set.
And this is exactly what we talked about. Nadal's level has dropped just a little bit. Pouille's picked his up just a little bit. And it's a scary time.
Yeah, on the right, there's Raul, his uncle, the other uncle, Miguel Angel Nadal, known as the Beast of Barcelona on the left. And there is a look of concern from Theo. Raul on the right, and of course the standout, played for Spain 102 times in his career for the football club, their national team.
That was a great play from Pouille. He just played that point to perfection. Nadal hit an incredible dipper off of Pouille's backhand swinging volley. That was really tough to get that down. And then, unfortunately for Pouille, Nadal was in great position to track just about anything down with that volley he could do.
Quintessential Nadal with those thousands of revolutions, just allowing it to dovetail below the net cord, and Pouille was there but couldn't convert. He still has a chance, though, to get back on serve. Once again, Rafael Nadal's grandmother just there to the left in the sunglasses. She's not, doesn't seem too concerned with how things are going for her grandson at the moment. Just taking it all in New York City. He saved 2 break points. Deuce.
Advantage, Pouille.
Just a reminder, Nadal was broken in total through the first 3 rounds, 9 sets, 5 times. Pouille looking for number 3 this afternoon.
Deuce. That's for sure.
He really does have an all-court game. Nadal mentioned that before the match started in the
Pre-match interview.
yeah. And he's very good around the net. Not afraid to come forward, can take the ball early, can play defense behind the court. Great serve, returning well. He's impressive.
Yeah, he's been impressive from both sides of the ball. Hasn't given Nadal a whole lot of open real estate to look at. He's felt a lot of pressure, has the Spaniard. 4th break point in this game. And he plays another one almost to perfection. Certainly does the job, and Nadal stays in this 5th game.
Deuce. Advantage, Nadal.
Well, if Pouille ends up losing this game, partly because of that net cord, we'll get a chance to see how mentally tough and resilient he is out there, because he is playing well enough.
And he knows it. Disappointed to come out on the short end there. He knows he's in this. He's in the hunt against Nadal's serve. 4 tries to get back on basically level terms in this extended 5th game. Nadal just might squeak out the hold. After missing out on 4 break opportunities, At the conclusion of the 5th game, they were elated
Love 15.
to see the 4 seed pull off the hold. Speaking of the masses here inside the biggest tennis stadium in the world, not quite filled to capacity for 23,000 plus, but pretty boisterous and active nonetheless. Suddenly Raul and the Nadal company starting to look a little more relaxed.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen the best out of Pouille. He can't play much better. I don't think many people can play much better than what we've seen from Pouille. And Nadal's able to not only hang in there, but turn this match around.
Watch out.
15-13.
Just reminding the videotape operators to be ready. Potential highlight coming up, but Nadal unable to convert the tweener. Well done by Pouille to get him on the run. Frenchman very adept at being able to make adjustments, good hands. Going back to something we saw in our match yesterday when we watched Andy Murray. In the 2 seeds match against the 34-year-old Italian Paolo Lorenzi was something that you brought up as that match unfolded, where Murray was having problems because Lorenzi is solid from both sides, doesn't run around one to get to his strength, able to just adapt and be able to produce from both the forehand and backhand side. Are you seeing much of the same here in Pouille?
Obviously, Pouille is balanced. I mean, the stats are even saying how balanced he is off the forehand and backhand. And like Djokovic, right? That's what Djokovic does. And that's what makes it such a problem to play someone like that. You know, they don't have to take themselves out of court, out of position to promote offense. They can just do it from right in the center.
With that being said, though, what we've seen here is Pouille has come up against Nadal, who just had a very gradual incline out of his match, really never got off the ground in set number 1, where Pouille was playing at the height of his powers. And you woke up the bull, so to speak, who came roaring out in set number 2, and it's a matter of just kind of trying to get out of his way and hold him off.
Yeah, and Pouille started this set a little bit lower. His level was a little bit lower, and Nadal obviously upped his. But I think Pouille's back to where he was in the first set, but Nadal is playing good tennis right now.
Outclassing the 24 seed as Pouille holds for the second time. Trying to reach his first Grand Slam quarterfinal since Roland Garros last year. And his first here in New York since he won the title in 2013. And dug himself a nice little hole to begin with in those opening 28 minutes. But needless to say, the ship has been turned around in the right direction now.
Good team, though.
We have one in, please.
I think it's interesting how, the game changes with technology. And in the past, you're always told to approach down the line to keep the ball in front of you, and so you close off all the angles. Now I feel that the players approach so often cross court to create those acute angles.
That's it. After the lights out start from Pouille in the opening set, it's Nadal who's working for the clampdown on the Frenchman in set number 2. A game away from making it 1 set apiece in New York. That little blip, the difference being a break in his opening service attempt in this set. Challenge coming from the Frenchman as Jake Gardner will ask for the chase review. Caught the back of the line.
And we saw the numbers of their winners a moment ago, and Pouille's level really hasn't dropped.
No.
It's Nadal that's turned it on.
Yeah, Nadal's risen, and also for Pouille, it was just one little moment of facing the break point that Nadal was able to work him so well through that second game. Aside from that, which often is the case, that's usually the difference, isn't it? If he could just turn back that one game, they'd be in even terms, it would seem.
Love 13.
Solid recognition from Nadal. Drop shot gets him to love 30 as he wants to make this a best of 3 set match. And Nadal heard the footsteps.
15-13.
Pretty even in rushing towards the middle of the court on the day. One extra trip forward by Pouille as he was trying to put the pressure on Nadal, and it worked. Nadal 9 of 13 at the net, Pouille 9 of 14. Pulled wide, no challenge from Pouille as he faces double break point, which would give Nadal the set.
(30-14).
One down. But not the other. Ace followed by a double fault, and it will be a best of 3 set to see who advances to the last 8 in New York.
6-2.
Their second meeting on the hard courts, a much different affair.
Love 15. 13.
Nadal wants to be careful with that. That's what got him in trouble in the first set. Pouille hit a pretty good offensive ball, and Nadal was very careful, just put it back in the middle of the court, allowing Pouille to dictate.
That'll get an oh my.
Love 14.
Feeling a lot more sturdy once again after what set 2 held in store for Luca. And right back to work. Applied pressure immediately to Nadal in the opening set, and the Spaniard's first service game broke him. To go ahead 2-love, and would ultimately build a 3-love lead to take the set. Nadal matched him identically in set number 2. Just had a sense when Pouille took the court to start set 3 that he was looking himself to just find that next level. He saw it across the net, the performance by Nadal in set 2. Well, Pouille says, I'm going to match you. Rafa, you're in for a dogfight.
And we'll see if it stays a dogfight, too. I mean, just watching these points, Pouille is doing so much moving, and we know Nadal is fit. He's been here, done this in 5 sets. The end of Grand Slams. You know, again, Pouille really hasn't had that same test to his body. And not only are they moving side to side a lot, but just forward and backward. You know, one shot's short, one shot's deep. And, you know, that's a big test. Doing that, guess what? Doing that against somebody who's ranked 80 in the world is not the same as doing that against somebody who's ranked 5 in the world or top 10 in the world, because they just hit the ball so much bigger, so much more often. They're faster, they get to more balls, so you just have to play such a higher intensity degree of tennis.
Yeah, I guess the one aspect I was wanting to see as Pouille came out to start set number 3 was where his mind not only was at, but where his legs were. Having to chase Nadal becomes a really arduous task if you've just been sort of pushed aside as easily as was in set number 2 after dominating the opening frame. And I say that only because of the fact that Pouille has had to arrive here in the 4th round by winning back-to-back 5-set matches. You got the adrenaline of that first set, all right, terrific, but then also, wait, what just happened? It's now 1 set all against Nadal. He's responded with resolve.
15 all.
And oh, by the way, it was a 4-set win in the opening round that he had to come back from a set down against Kukushkin. So it's not as if Pouille hasn't had to put in a sterling effort just to get to this point. But looking no worse for wear. Wow. I'm not sure he intended it, but even Jake Gardner in the chair gives a nod to Pouille. Whoa.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, just taking Nadal's best stuff and ripping it right back. But that's what you have to do. I mean, if you put that back in the court, put the running shoes back on.
Thirty-one.
Again, Pouille has attacked that backhand side of Nadal's approach to it multiple times. He's had great success going there.
Use. Advantage, Pouille. Again, Pouille.
Well, the trend continues. Opening set, Pouille managed to find his way with a hold and a break to 2-love. Nadal, exactly the same in set number 2. Now a break and a hold for Pouille. And he has the upper hand early doors in the third set.
That's your serve. On. 30-15.
I've seen the evidence of the ability to scramble from both today. And Pouille does a good job to get over, but Nadal handling himself nicely at the net on the afternoon. 11 of 15. Just too much real estate for the Frenchman to close out, give chase. And Nadal trying to end the 3-love start trend.
And Nadal wins such a huge amount of points up at net, the percentage-wise, because by the time he comes to the net, the person he's playing against, the opponent, is so far out of the court. All he has to do is just make the ball, just put it in the court somewhere, and it's game over. A lot of times the kids at the academy that I work with, they think coming to the net is all about their position. Where am I in the court? I should be coming in here. And really, to be honest with you, I feel like it's more has to do with the opponent's position. If they're in the middle of the court, man, you really want to think twice about coming to the net. But if you've done a good job and pulled them off to the sides, you can be at the fence and it'll still be the right play to come in.
More about court awareness than just being aggressive.
Exactly. Exactly. Because all you're doing by coming to the net is just rushing them to the next ball. So if they're out of the court, that's when you want to rush them to the next ball. If they're in the middle of the court, well, they're ready to go.
Sure. Taking time away. Somewhat similar to the idea of trying to stay up on the baseline. Painted perfect on the painted surface. Rafa, he has to say, all right, well, too good. Yellow meets white, flush. As the rotating ball just kicks through the court. And Nadal, no say on putting it back in play.
That's for sure. Advantage, Nadal.
Well, he's given as good as he's getting.
I mean, that's tough to take if you're Nadal. You just hit 4 great shots, and Pouille hit every single one close to the baseline or close to the sideline. And then you hang one just a little bit, and he clubs a winner.
Yeah, this is the type of performance that he's used to seeing from guys with single digits next to their name in the seedings.
Advantage, Nadal.
Looks of agitation from Nadal towards his box as he works his way towards what he hopes is his first game of the third set. So far, Pouille has been the proverbial thorn in his side.
Advantage Nadal. Deuce.
Once again, the move as Pouille coming to the middle of the court just puts a little extra pressure on Nadal. Court positioning seemed to dictate it for the Frenchman. And sneaking in took some time away from Nadal as he forces the backhand wide. It's 1 of 7 in the set, though early for Nadal on his second serve.
That forehand to open up the court was so good. Pouille really crushed that return.
Looked over and saw you shaking your head. This is pretty majestic stuff when you're able to give yourself that much area to work with.
I mean, don't get me wrong, this volley was very good, but that forehand, not too many people on the planet can do what he did with that forehand.
Well, Pouille outside in the doubles alley and 3 meters back behind the baseline. He knew where it was going.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Did not matter.
Advantage Nadal.
More than 11 minutes, 18 points, but Nadal breaks the trend. He's on the board.
Pouille leads 2 games to 1 in third set. 1-0.
How did this happen? We thought Nadal would be closing out straight sets win. It was not to be. At least not yet, as Pouille's trying to hold off Nadal.
And that's what happens when you come in and the guy, and you haven't done a great job of taking him way far away from the center of the court. You have to hit a perfect volley, and that was definitely not a perfect volley. And if they just hit a reasonable pass, getting it below the level of the net or back cross court, they're in great position for the next pass.
15 all.
No disagreement from Nadal. Very close, but called out, and 15 all.
Thirty 15.
Pouille has to be very careful here, particularly about his footwork, getting himself into position, not getting complacent. You wouldn't imagine that he could, knowing that Rafael Nadal's across the net from him, and he's actually up a break at 1 set all. That'll feel a lot better.
40-30.
3 miles per hour shy of his fastest serve tonight as he posts his 4th ace. That was 131 miles per hour, that is.
We jumped in the call on the left serve. The ball was blocked.
We hoping for a 5th ace. Asking for the chase review.
Three hands, 2 challenges.
That was an awesome forehand by Nadal. Pouille really stepped in and drove that backhand really aggressively through the Nadal forehand. And that's what we haven't been seeing from Nadal as of the past few months, 6 months. He's let those ones land short, but that one had great depth and it's brought a break point his way.
And it was a serve and volley coming in, feeling the pressure from Nadal. The return position, decided to take matters into his own hands. Nadal has had considerably less opportunities to break today. He's been feeling the heat more often. Pouille able to extinguish the threat. And on back-to-back points.
And I love that. Actually, Pouille earlier in the game was going to serve and volley down the tee, and he actually missed the first serve. And I don't like that for the same reason why you don't approach down the middle of the court. I mean, if you serve down the middle of the court, where do you put your opponent?
In the middle of the court.
Smack dab in the middle. So where are you going to hit this volley? You better hope that he hits a bad return or you hit a perfect volley.
Pouille 3-1, 3rd set. Well, a couple of serve and volleys, and then he slams the door, gets himself out of a jam. USOpen.org is your source for information on the results that have come in through today. Tsonga is into the last 8, paired down from 128 to the last 12. At the end of this day, there will only be 12 men remaining as Nadal serves 1-3.
Love 15.
Well, it's got to be equal
15
parts.
all.
They love the effort and what Pouille's been able to do, but they're certainly favorites of a two-time champion here.
So far, Pouille is 1-0 on the tweeners for today. Nadal's was a bad miss.
And he almost got to that drop shot.
Thirty 15.
I'm mentioning the progress of Tsonga, Sejoy Monfils. Pouille would face Gael in the quarterfinals if he can pull off the upset here against Nadal. And 3 of the 4 quarterfinalists in the top section of the draw would be from France. Nadal trying to prevent that from happening.
40 15.
That number in the match has risen as Nadal has been far more sharper from the line after that pretty awful effort in the opening set. Another fist bump to indicate the passion. Nadal trying to close the gap.
He leads 3 games to 2. Third set.
Down a break in
1-0.
set 3.
That's for serve.
And Nadal's had his hands full as he tries to work his way towards the latter stages of week 2 once again here in New York. Hasn't reached the quarterfinal since his second title run 3 years ago. Pouille looking to pull off be the most dramatic of upsets thus far on the men's side. Trying to protect his 1 break of serve lead here in the 3rd.
That's just huge hitting from Nadal. And I played against Nadal in Cincinnati, I think in 2009 or 10. And the weight of his ball coming through when he's being aggressive and timing it well, it's just tough to deal with if it comes straight to you.
Which aspect makes it the most tough? Is it that heavy topspin? Is it because it's coming from the left-hand side? Combo platter?
It's definitely the heaviness, the amount of spin that he generates, and that's kind of been well documented that he generates so many more RPMs on the ball than others, excluding Jack Sock now. Actually, Jack is hitting his forehand with an average of 200 RPMs more than Nadal does. But that was the toughest part. But playing Nadal, I felt like his backhand was manageable. You know, like the backhand, I felt like if you hit a good ball there, a strong ball there, you can get ahead in the point. You kind of get to take a breath a little bit. But when I played him, I felt no matter how big I hit it to his forehand, I was always uncomfortable on the next ball.
Forty-three.
And through the court with the backhand, Pouille. His 9th winner from that side.
4 games to 2, third set.
Puts him to a 4-2 lead. Well, having been a player and now a coach, maybe just an odd question, but how does one prepare for that? Whether you're the player or do you go out and just finding a left-handed player isn't necessarily enough to prepare?
Yeah, no, it's not enough. And there's, up until Jack Sock came along, there's nobody that hit the ball like Nadal did. His ball just behaved differently off of the court than everybody else's, so you can't really prepare for that. The only way you can prepare, and this is if you have the equipment, is a ball machine. At our academy, we have a handful of ball machines, and they can go really, really fast and put a whole bunch of spin on there. And then you can start to duplicate the type of ball that Nadal hits. But short of that, I mean, even ripping the feeds, it's tough to duplicate what he does.
Missed it. Well, there goes that idea for how I was going to make my fortune.
15
I'll
all.
just scratch out, find a tennis machine that can turn 1,000 revolutions per second and simulate Rafael Nadal's forehand. This was tough. It was sitting right there for him. Tries to cut behind the ball. Now 13 of 20 at the net on the day. Oh. He's had a good measure of the court today,
15,
Luca.
13. Two.
Pouille's been really impressive. Other than the one game that he dropped, first game of the second set, which was his fault. His level definitely dropped. Other than that, the only way Nadal's been winning games off of Luca is just simply outplaying him like he would do against Djokovic or Federer in the past or Murray. Pouille's level is impressive.
Yannick Noah. I believe Cedric Peelian
Yep,
on
that's
the
Peelian
left
on
as
the
well.
left. Yep.
Noah, the last Frenchman to win a major title. Doing so in Roland Garros in the early 80s, watching what has to be an impressive performance in his eyes from Pouille to this point. As Nadal finds his way to a third hold. Opening point of the 8th game, set 3. Luca Pouille trying to get himself to 5-3.
And that's exactly why you don't want to serve and volley down the middle of the court. You put Nadal right in the middle. Nadal just happened to hit a good return down low. Now where's Pouille going to hit that volley? He has nowhere to hit. Anywhere he goes, it better touch a line.
Flattens out the backhand once again. Trying to use an angles to keep it away from the forehand of Nadal, and this time magnifique.
Yeah, look at where this landed, right near the sideline tee. Even if Nadal gets there, that point should be just about over. I actually really like how Pouille plays. He's very aggressive. He's looking for good, modern opportunities to come to the net. And what I mean by that is in the past, you just hit a ball and come to the net whenever you feel like it. But now you have to be a little bit more selective when the guy's outside the court.
Lessons to be learned in this 2016 season, particularly in the majors for Luca Pouille, as he is a game away from assuming a 2-1 set lead against Rafael Nadal. Said that 2-set loss to fellow countryman Gael Monfils, who he would face in the quarterfinals if he does emerge victorious in this match, that stung. But he learned a lot from that opening round Australian Open loss, being dumped out after losing sets 3, 4, and 5 to Gael. And then, of course, the quarterfinal run at Wimbledon was a major step in his maturation process towards how to approach match play at the majors. And it's benefited him mightily here in New York. Some of the lessons from that loss to Monfils being, of course, that he allowed himself to sometimes get taken out mentally by what was going on the other side of the net. And Monfils, that's his signature move, really, isn't it? The need to focus on your game, what you can control, how you can produce positive results. That eluded Luca as he got towards the tail end of that match. Nice job. And then, of course, Wimbledon, in having to find ways to have a day off, get ready for the next match, prepare, and put back-to-back match wins to emerge as a quarterfinalist. And just so composed. A lot of poise in his game now, particularly since he's emerged as a top 25 player.
15-30.
You like that miss?
I like it. I mean, it's aggressive, right? And you don't have to judge whether it's cross court or down the line. I mean, if he's going in there and trying to, do damage, then that's fine.
Execution a bit lacking, but that's all right.
Yep.
He was a point away from triple set point, so why not get after it? Nice back and forth, and the reactions of both. It's Nadal who comes away for 30 all.
30 all.
Well, Nadal, in front of his grandmother, refuses to concede the set. It'll be up to the Frenchman to try to assume that 2-set-1 lead.
15 love.
Without question, even the most ardent tennis fan could not have predicted how things would unfold despite the success at Wimbledon for the Frenchman and the opening 3 rounds this tournament.
30 love.
And yet here he is on the precipice, 2 points away. Starting to garner fans, as they say. Luca Pouille, okay. See what you got. So far, without question, impressive.
I love how many trips to the net these guys are taking. And again, I think that serving and volleying, you have to do it very, very selectively. But when you get your opponent in that bad a position, that far behind the court, and he's just scrambling to stay in there, you can't bail him out by not coming to the net. You're just going to let him float a defensive ball back, and then you got to reset the point.
Nadal 17 of 25 for the match. Pouille 19 of 29. Lots of activity in the middle of the court. And Pouille at double set point.
40-15.
That'll shake things up around the grounds here in Flushing Meadows when they look at the scoreboard outside. Someone has a 2-set-1 lead. Is it Nadal? No. Is it Pouille? Oui.
Total points won. Nadal 79 to Pouille's 88.
Granted, much of that discrepancy in the opening set when Pouille just got off to the fantastic start and only allowed Nadal 1 game.
30 love. $40 love. $40-15.
Good defense from Pouille. Prevent Nadal from getting a quick, easy hold. First game of the fourth set.
Again, Nadal.
And Rafa does get his hold to start.
First game, fourth set.
That'll be the final four in the top half of the draw. Two positions already settled as Frenchman Jo-Wilfried Tsonga and Gael Monfils move through. Novak Djokovic and Kyle Edmund will be on this court later tonight, which is going to be pushed back, it would seem, as the night session is set to begin at 7 p.m. Obviously, Nadal has designs on this going 5. And even if it doesn't, the length of sets has continued to grow on and on. The opening set took 28 minutes for Pouille, 44 minutes in the second for Nadal, an hour exactly for Pouille to take a 2-set-to-1 lead. And you see the match time behind the Frenchman currently.
$15. $30 love. $40.
Pretty open-ended question, Taylor Dent, but you know how I like to put you on the spot a time or two, and you seem to like those sort of challenges. At this juncture, 2 hours, 20 minutes on court, and Pouille a point away from 1-all.
Game.
No longer a point away. Actually at 1-all, as he's got lucky number
1 game
7
all
in the
for
ace
sets.
department. What aspect has impressed you most about Luca Pouille?
I'd just say the completeness of his game. I can't point to one area where I feel there's vulnerability. I mean, realistically, when Nadal is playing good tennis, great tennis, like he did in the second set, he's going to be winning that set against anybody. Djokovic, Murray, you name it. But if Nadal hasn't played up to that level, Pouille has been the dominant force out on the court with backhands, with forehands, coming to the net, serving. He returns well. He's very fast around the court.
Wasn't quite clear. I was going to go perhaps with in a different route, and it seems to me that there's a lot of
15
conviction in his game, and he hasn't wavered. He had that little brief hiccup in set number 2, which saw him lose serve and ultimately the set.
No, absolutely. I agree 100%. Mentally, he's tough.
Yeah.
He seems like he's in there to keep going, keep plugging away.
And we've seen players who have been able to stand up to Nadal for a time or two because they come out, they hit a nice run, if you will, and just can't handle or maintain that presence or get overwhelmed by the occasion of having Nadal on the ropes. Oh, watch out, Jake. Ball kid 2 coming in hot.
30 love.
Hard hats required courtside.
Oh.
Oh, caught him on the
Did
rebound,
get him.
didn't it? Hopefully no worse for wear.
Love.
Seems to be handling it pretty well. And a brilliant start from both. Combined through 3 games, they've just lost a single point on serve. This is starting to thrill the crowd as the level rises in Arthur Ashe Arena. A couple of different emotions for the crowd here in Arthur Ashe Stadium as Pouille serves 1-2, 4th set.
Nadal's challenging the call on the right far sideline. The ball is coming.
Nadal immediately issues a challenge in the chase review. We brought forth, trying to deny Pouille his first serve, and he's proven correct. And there's tons of excitement. There's obviously tremendous support for Rafael Nadal. Pouille is earning admirers. A little bit of bewilderment and confusion that a Frenchman taking Nadal to task like this is not Tsonga or Monfils or even perhaps Gasquet, but a 22-year-old that many probably just barely heard of at Wimbledon, reaching the quarterfinals there, coming in here, Luca Pouille. This has not been a match that has disappointed, though. Even for Rafa fans, they have to be pretty pleased with how this competition has gone to this point as far as the level. Pouille has not backed off. Noah, Yannick that is, donning the chapeau of the local National Basketball Association team, the New York Knickerbockers. Dahl going low to the backhand.
Yeah, it was, you know, obviously Pouille had an unbelievable backhand to earn that weak ball from Nadal. And then even when you get these short balls, you still have to rip them just in case, like this happened here. Nadal guessed correctly. If you don't rip it, then he's just got that thing lined up. Keeping the racket head speed on that approach is your insurance policy.
40-30.
By the way, just in case any of our world viewers don't understand Noah's baseball cap, what it means for the 1983 Roland Garros champion, his 6'11" son, Joachim, plays center for the New York Knicks in the NBA.
That was a better approach. That wasn't the approach's fault. Nadal just hit a good ball and made Pouille have to come up with a pretty tough volley and just couldn't execute. Much better approach, though.
Advantage, Pouille.
There's the Knicks supporter. 1983 Roland Garros has to be appreciating what's being put forth against his fellow Frenchman by the 9-time Roland Garros champion Nadal. We're not done here. Yeah, when we were talking about the level of match play here, just the output from both and this tug of war that has ensued. Nadal, 31 winners to 28 unforced errors. Many of those errors coming in the opening frame. You see how lopsided it was in favor of Pouille. Pouille is +7 in the match differential winners to errors. This late in the match, that's not easy to maintain against Nadal.
Yeah, 100%. If you have like a serve and volleyer, sometimes those stats will get skewed to where everything is considered a forced error, so all those errors you make don't really count. You only count the winners. But this has just been a slugfest from the baseline, so those numbers, those stats are accurate. This has been a very, very high level. I don't understand that backhand from Pouille in the middle of the point. He basically just fed Nadal a short forehand. Maybe he needed just a mental breather, a physical breather. I don't know, but that's not the type of backhand he's been playing for the most part today.
And lost in the shuffle, that mid-rally pickup by Nadal where he's able to get low, put it in play, and then back up. One fell swoop.
Advantage, Nadal.
Well, they've each had their looks today. Pouille has had more, but less success percentage-wise. Nadal trying to even him overall with his third break.
Right, please. Okay.
And to grab the lead in set 4. And that's what I'm talking about from earlier, Taylor. Conviction.
Yeah.
He goes right back to his game.
Absolutely not backing off. I mean, that's what's winning him this match.
You could understand if he was getting tentative, putting the ball in the middle of the court, just a bit nervous that Nadal's going to get the break, but not Luca. Pouille going full tilt.
Advantage, Pouille. Game, Pouille.
Wow. All right then. Well, Pouille no doubt is all in. stands up mightily as Nadal threatens, but to no avail. Oh, we've been talking about Frenchmen all day, what Pouille's trying to do to accomplish something that hasn't occurred in any Grand Slam ever. We'll worry about that later. But fellow Frenchman Jo-Wilfried Tsonga ensured that there's only 2 Americans left in singles play, men and women. Tsonga knocked out the last man, Jack Sock, after a loss earlier today by Madison Keys. That just leaves Serena and Venus for American hopes. Tsonga awaits the winner of Djokovic and Edmund tonight.
Please.
Stories about all of those matches available at usopen.org and the wrap-ups and match summaries.
Love 15. Ladies and gentlemen, as a courtesy to both players, please do not yell out between first and second serve. Thank you. Love 13.
Yeah, I couldn't help but wonder if maybe Pouille issued a little bit of a statement to Nadal that needed to be answered by getting that hold.
Thank you.
Is it possible that Rafa is feeling tightness here as he tries to hold in this 5th game?
Please. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please do not yell out between first and second serve. It's very distracting to both players.
Measured reprimand for the 2nd time in this game from Jake Garner from the chair to fans. Far too boisterous and downright rude as Nadal serves love 30.
$15-30. Ready on.
This match reminds me so much of some of the matches Nadal has played Djokovic in the past, where Djokovic has to play his best tennis. And it's still a struggle. It's still a battle. And when Pouille's executing like he is, hitting the ball as big as he is off both wings, forehand and backhand, Nadal doesn't really have anywhere to advance his attack.
$40-30. Game.
From love 30 down to a hold as he wants to go 5. Nadal. As we reach 6 p.m. on a Sunday night, 4th day of September, making the turn into week 2 of the U.S. Open, France's Luca Pouille serving 2-3 up 2-1 against 2-time U.S. Open champion Rafael Nadal.
15.
Nadal taking a page from Pouille's notebook in the previous game, finds his way to a love 30 lead. Nadal was able to extricate himself from that perilous position. Can Pouille do the same? Stadium floor is pretty big here in Arthur Ashe Stadium, Taylor. There's a lot of space to work with, both sides and back. Is the depth, this is posed by a question from a viewer in Australia, Claire from Canberra wants to know, the depth of return for both players seems to be well back, 3-4 meters behind the baseline. The purpose for that?
Well, for Nadal's perspective, he's got bigger swings, loopier swings, right? So the further he stands back, the more pace comes off of the tennis ball, so he can really unleash and rip a big, heavy return and try and take offense right away. Obviously, Djokovic and Murray return differently. They stand a lot closer. They try and take offense differently. And from Pouille's perspective, I would expect it's because, and a lot of French players do this because they grow up playing on clay so much that they like the ball coming at them a little bit slower on the way down. So that's why he would be doing it.
Well, Pouille got back to 30 all. But Nadal has his chance for 4-2. Oh, no. Well, not what we expected from Luca Pouille, the way he has stood up mightily in the face of the four-seed Rafael Nadal to garner this 2-1 lead, but he gifts the sixth game.
Yeah, that was very similar to the first game of the second set. Just a pretty poor. Nadal really only won 1 point, that great return cross court. Pouille hit the double, missed easy forehand.
Nadal will take it, and he's looking to pull away now and go to a decider. He's had his troubles when losing the opening set in majors over the course of his career. Just a 25-26 record. But if he gets to a decider, it would be his 25th, and he's won 17 of the first 24. And that is something Pouille undoubtedly is trying to avoid for a number of reasons, not the least of which is he's already played back-to-back 5-set matches just to get to this stage today.
Love 30. 15-13.
S&V from Nadal, and he can't make the dig.
And it's been paying off for him this match, that big serve and volley out wide there. We thread the needle, was able to get that below the level of the net.
The Nadal brothers a bit tight as they watch Rafa face more pressure.
It's pretty great. Very good point from Pouille. Just making Nadal come up with everything. Nadal had to hit like 3-4 great shots to win that point.
Yeah, and he had to show his athleticism, the virtual pirouette with racket in hand. Pouille made a tremendous effort for that, and that ball was headed for the back of the line. Rafa had to come up with that. Not out of danger yet. This time it's Pouille. He's lost a couple jousting sessions at the net in the latter stages, but this time he comes through. And the break puts him back on serve in pursuit of the quarterfinals.
Nadal leads 4 games to
His third consecutive 5-set match here in New York. Kicking off hour number 4 from the line. He begins the decider from the south end. I don't know, Taylor Dent. I can't help but think the wins over Ciudanelli, 5 sets. Bautista Agut, 5 sets. Now Rafa, 5 sets. Is it possible that he can pull this off now in such a pressurized situation on tennis's biggest stage?
I think it has more to do with playing Nadal than the fact that he's played those other 2 guys before that. It used to be more of a conversation back in the 90s. You know, I used to watch tennis with my father, and you see one of the favorites play a 5-set match, and then all of a sudden all their chances are done. In the early 2000s, all their chances are done. But now I think that tennis has transitioned to such a fitness-geared sport that these 5-set matches, giving these guys a day off in between, they seem to recover extremely well. But then again, Nadal is posing the problem. He's making Pouille move and play at a faster pace than normal.
15-13.
Yeah, this is a rough spot. This is not the time where you want to lose your focus, and certainly not going to accuse Pouille of being complacent. That was difficult to pull off at the net, and he's given Nadal a half chance in this opening game. And now really up against it. Nadal in the last 3 games has just been a different beast, but playing in full beast mode.
Yeah, he's playing well, but I think, again, it's always a give and take in tennis, right? Because there's another person on the court. I think it's also Pouille letting Nadal play well, letting Nadal be a beast.
Game.
And there's the break. (17-7) in 5-set matches, Rafael Nadal.
15 love.
He wants to get back to work quickly, not wishing for the towel. Just give me the balls, please. Let's get to play.
I think he senses what we see. I mean, Pouille was tracking down those short drop volleys that were better than that earlier in the match, and now he barely got to that one.
And why give him time to regroup?
Absolutely.
Here? Get right back to play. This is a pretty thorough beginning to the deciding set in favor of Rafael Nadal. He is showing his mettle now, and there's no doubt about it why he has won 2 U.S. Opens and the career Grand Slam. 8 of the first 9 points, really turning the screws tight. And Pouille has to find some way to just stem the tide.
And if Pouille is in fact laboring out there, if he's struggling with his legs and just doesn't have that explosiveness anymore, he's got to even play more aggressive. Can't let Nadal get ahead in these points.
Fitness days at Real Madrid. Raul, stalwart on the Spanish national team and member of Rafa's favorite football club.
30-15.
Obviously an athlete who can appreciate what's been transpiring the last 3 hours and 7 minutes before him. And Pouille making a case.
40-15.
Stopgap in the momentum for Nadal. Bad miss.
And this is right here. This is exactly why fitness is so important. And I think Pouille has done an unbelievable job taking his game and his fitness from a challenger level to a very, very high ATP level.
Well left, although he seemed to be running through it very quickly. Mine last second pullout. Yeah, the other aspect is Nadal's pressure has led to Pouille obviously feeling it. He has finally eclipsed where he had led almost all of this match until the start of this set. in the area of winners to errors. He slipped now into the negative. But a positive is that he's on the board finally in the 5th set. Waits the winner of this match. I'm hesitant to say that Pouille is running out of gas. I wonder, you would know better than I. Mentally, the edge, he's been sort of taken out a little bit here, hasn't he?
Mentally, well, again, you never know whether it's because of the physical. I mean, what if you feel like you've lost a step out there?
Because of Rafa's renewed aggression and vigor in the last 6 to 7 games, I can't help but think that if Pouille had found a way to hold him off in one of those or hadn't been broken in one, it just seems like maybe mentally the edge, it's a snowball effect of it's overwhelming him now. Then the legs are going to feel heavier. I don't know if it goes, you've been in this position, legs go first, then mind?
Well, he did break back. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, he did break back. And that game that he got broken the second time just didn't look good. So, I mean, he should have been mentally in it there. He should have been pumped like, hey, I'm back in this 4th set. I mean, there's a chance that he was holding on for dear life, you know, and put all his energy into breaking Nadal back and then just had no gas to hold. And then that started the fall.
But he's still swinging away. I mean, he's still getting plenty
he has
of pop.
to.
Yeah.
Has to. When you're tired, that's the first. I mean, especially playing someone as aggressive as Nadal, you got to go big. Got to go big.
(40-15). (40-30).
Did oh so much right. But the last bit was oh so wrong, and Nadal has his 3-1 lead halfway towards a return to the quarterfinals for the first time here in New York in 3 years. And we'll see the recovery from Pouille and how he responds to that miscue. Once again, usopen.org is where you can find the schedule for tomorrow, Labor Day Monday, a national holiday here in the United States.
15 love.
Play will resume tomorrow with the men's bottom half of the draw, trying to round out the Elite 8, and the women's top section, including both Williams sisters. For the men, Juan Martín del Potro will kick things off against Dominic Thiem right here on Arthur Ashe Stadium, 11 o'clock local time. Followed by Venus and Serena as the headliners in the day session. Nice stuff. He's still plugging away. And that's where I said the mental aspect. I think if he can get a boost here, just close to within a game, and that'll help his cause towards trying to fight out this set. You don't agree?
I think he's done.
Okay.
I think he's lost that little half a step, and he's just swinging for the fences right now. And that's going to be tough to string,
40 love.
you know, a game together to break Nadal. It's just so risky.
I'll hold the love here and close it to 3-2. Might give him a little boost of adrenaline. And he's got it, and he turns towards his camp, says, okay, come with me. Let's make this interesting. Rafa, Pouille, those fans outside holding night tickets are going to have to wait. And they may be waiting a little while. Not before 7:30, bottom of the hour, is that even expected to get close. And it could get pushed back further if Luca Pouille can find a way to break Rafael Nadal, who is 3 holds away, or any combination of 3 games, from advancing to the last 8.
$15 all. Doom. $30-15.
Even in winners, Pouille has 11 more errors than Nadal in the day, but just 3 less points. But where it matters most here in these crucial moments is Rafa has been
40-15.
showing his resolve and far more accurate. Tremendous angle for us to enjoy, literally a bird's eye view. As Pouille misses the mark and commits his 46th unforced error. And Nadal within 2 games of facing Monfils in the quarters.
Nadal leads 4-2. Final sets.
Well, now what was solid footing at one point in this match for Pouille now has to start to feel not only like soft sand and a much tougher slog, but it's starting to have an incline.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I'm right, and it is because he's physically just gassed, he just lost that step. I just don't know if there is a path to victory for Pouille. I mean, Nadal is so consistent and so tenacious that just hitting 1 or 2 big shots a rally isn't going to be enough to win the match from here.
And they don't call him Nadal the Merciful, do they? And he senses vulnerability. He is looking to just smother the opposition. Important to remember what we're talking about as Luca Pouille made his way to the round of 16 here at the U.S. Open. And what he's accomplished of late. Made his major debut in 2013 at Roland Garros. Actually won a match to get in the second round and lost. He would then need 8 more major appearances just to pick up a victory. I was again back at Roland Garros this year. Showed up at Wimbledon. Suddenly he was a quarterfinalist. So 2-9 through his first 9 majors. Final 2 majors this year, he's posted a 7-1 record to get to this point against Nadal today. We'll have the chase review.
30-15.
So it's been a remarkable run if it is indeed coming to a conclusion here for Pouille. And he extended Nadal to 5 sets after 2 5-set matches in succession to reach the 4th round here. But maybe, just maybe, he's not done.
(40-15). Nadal has 2 challenges remaining.
It's just a 1-break lead that Nadal holds in this deciding set. Will that be enough to get the Spaniard a return visit to the quarterfinals in New York? Before taking the stadium floor, he said, "I am not the man Rafa whooped in Monte Carlo in May of last year." And I'm paraphrasing, Taylor. Those weren't his exact words, but it was something like that. But just to give you an indication, when Nadal took Pouille to task in Monte Carlo in May of 2015, it was virtual destruction, 6-2, 6-1. Pouille was 108 in the world at the time. He's now 25. Nadal was 5 then and now. But you can certainly see how far Pouille's game has come, and he really has represented himself remarkably well today.
He has, and of course, Nadal doesn't have 9 U.S. Open titles, but Pouille has definitely come along and improved.
(30-15). (30-all). Time violation warning.
Gardner issues a warning for time to Nadal. No reaction from Rafa. Well now.
Wow. I think Nadal was trying to prey on that, his depth in the court here by hitting a drop shot, but that was both high and it hit the service line. Oof.
Santana, 4-time major champion, questioning the shot selection of his fellow countryman who's facing break point. I'll tell you what, we talked about whether or not mental, physical, this would be a huge boost, both emotionally and an adrenaline charge for Pouille. Oh. The dig.
Again, we've seen Nadal with this pattern so much. Huge forehand off running in. Great control to keep that volley low. This was a very, very tough volley. Oh. If that popped up just a little more, it would have been like the last one.
Well, Pouille learned his lesson, and boy, was he on his horse galloping towards the middle of the court as soon as he got his racket on that return.
Advantage, Pouille.
That's the first attempt for Nadal to serve volley out wide on the deuce side. He's mostly been doing it from the ad, and he paid the price.
Thank you.
Great return from Pouille.
There's still some fight left.
Really good effort. Unbelievable effort. A few donations from Nadal in that game, but wow. Way to capitalize for Pouille.
A huge boost as the Frenchman now serves at 4-all, when many, no fingers being pointed, said he was down and out.
I thought he was done.
Oh,
he looked like he was struggling.
I'm not pointing a finger at you. Pouille trying to join Monfils and Tsonga in the round of 8. Oh. Moxie.
15 love.
It just might change the picture next to the definition. That took some bravery. And it also caught Nadal off guard. He's issued the challenge. Garner will ask for the chase review. Pouille gets a closer look.
He has 2 challenges remaining. You. Odds. $15-30. Doom. 30 all.
I think it was such a good effort for Pouille to keep this set close because his level definitely took a noticeable dip, a noticeable drop. And he only stayed one break away.
Yeah, probably just had to sort of tap himself and remind him where he was and what was happening, because it sure seemed like it was slipping away. Just dazzling.
30-14.
And he stayed at home, and Pouille will want to replay that over and over and over again should this match go against him. But Rafa was there.
Please.
Unbelievable if he gets broken off of that. Unbelievable.
And that's the shot that he can't clear the net with.
Deuce.
The three Nadal brothers in the stands starting to tighten up. Abuela, Isabel Omar, also feeling a bit of the pressure now. She's been a cool customer most of this match.
Advantage. Pouille.
Smart tennis. 31 of 54 at the net. Wanting to take time away from Nadal. And somehow, some way, claim the lead in the deciding set.
Deuce. Please. Advantage. Pouille. Please. Deuce. Thank you. Advantage. Pouille.
It's been a successful recipe.
Yeah, for both guys. As long as they're both slicing their serve. When they've served and volleyed to the straighter side, for Pouille it's the ad side, for Nadal it's the deuce side. They haven't had near as much success.
New balls, please.
thought Pouille was going to repay the favor. Tracking down an overhead.
15 love.
I guarantee you that for a millisecond that entered Rafael's and he said, no. In my mind, you are not going to have a chance.
He had a swing at this ball, though.
And I took a guess and a gamble. Just missed.
Love. 30-15. You.
Starting to see Pouille play a little bit more towards the center of the court here, getting a bit tentative.
I don't know. I mean, Nadal hit a couple of balls like right next to the baseline. That last one was right on the baseline.
It was good depth. Yep. It's hard to take on that forehand. Its heaviness. Well, Pouille benefited from the kick off the top of the tape. It actually redirected the flight of the ball back into the court, but it's to no avail as both uncles and dad cheering on Rafa Nadal's hold for 5-all.
5 games on. Final sets.
Pouille in his 10th match against a top 10 opponent. 3 victories previously, but none in the top 5. Twice against David Ferrer this year.
Right, please. Thank you.
The Miami Masters as well as the Rome Masters, both times good results for Pouille to advance on to the round of 16 in South Florida, as well as he was a semifinalist in Rome. His other top 10 victory over Richard Gasquet early rounds in Monte Carlo this year. This would be the biggest prize of all.
Pouille's doing still a great job when he doesn't have to move too much of opening up the court. Great recognition to move forward, finish that up. And again, I mean, he couldn't have hit a better serve down the tee. It had so much swing on it. It hit the line, but serving and volleying down the tee is just a risky proposition.
$30-15. 40-15. Holtz.
Once again, Rafael Nadal recognizing how far he pushed Pouille behind the baseline and tracking the Frenchman as he ran further and further at the angle away from the court. Pounces on the opportunity to come to the middle. And Pouille with a statement of his own. Rafa, you're successful at the net. I'll follow your lead.
And that was not the intended shot for Nadal. He was going for a lob and just cut the ball too thin. Thank you very much.
Great touch. The hands of Luca Pouille has him a game away from the quarterfinals. It's up to Nadal for a second time to hold to stay in the event, or the Frenchman becomes one of three in the last 8.
Games to 5. Love. You. Love. 30-15.
A couple of times Rafa's let that forehand sort of drift right into the hit zone of Pouille. Is he showing some signs of fatigue? Nerves?
I'd be surprised. I mean, Pouille hit those 2 backhands just absolutely monstrous. So there is a stage where the ball is just a good ball and you're doing everything you can just get it back in the court.
Fair enough. Not allowing a forehand reply. 51st winner.
40-15.
And this forehand is what makes Nadal special. And he's been hitting it great the last few matches.
And a tiebreak will decide who advances. Nadal's first tiebreak of this tournament. Had not dropped a set en route to the 4th round. Did not need to contest a 13th game. Just the second for Pouille. He needed to win the tiebreak in the 3rd set against Ciutinelli.
Both players receive one
in the second
challenge.
round in order, excuse me, in the 3rd round in order to propel himself to this match, go on to win in 5 sets.
Nadal. You. One all.
Unbelievable stuff from Pouille. Just able to keep bringing just enough to keep this match close.
So the mini breaks exchange to begin. In the first 5th set tiebreak, the 2016 U.S. Open here in Arthur Ashe Stadium. The first 5-set match over the course of these opening days. Just 6 errors in this set for Rafa, starting to agitate Uncle Tony. Not much he can do from his position, and Rafa knows it. The server has not held for a point yet in these opening 3.
Unbelievable. Nadal, maybe you're right. Maybe he is getting tentative because he's certainly backing off. He's not the one that's being the aggressor right now. Pouille is taking his chances, hitting the backhand big, seeing the opening and going for it.
Yeah, Rafa's not one to overlook opponents, but he has to have felt like, I should have shaken this guy already. Maybe, just maybe, Pouille actually really has some gas left in the tank. That the 2 previous 5-set matches just to get to this point did nothing to fatigue him. Pouille holds for 4-1. And the crowd tries to rally Nadal's spirit.
Right, please. Thank you.
So the swap ends, 6 points on the board. Pouille with the slight edge and the ability to just give himself a moment of pause. Outside, they are desperate to get back inside Arthur Ashe Stadium, these ticket holders, but they're going to be denied for a while. There's still tennis to be played now, 19 minutes after 7 p.m. You see to the east gate to the left and the south gate at the top of the screen outside Arthur Ashe Stadium. Everyone fixated on the screens and the scoreboards around the grounds here at the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. You can't help but feel that some are still sort of scratching their heads going, I'm not sure I recognize Pouille. They'll be talking about him a lot following this match. He's got the 5 seed and 2-time champion in a spot of bother, to say the least.
That's for sure. Four, 3, Queen. Doom.
Into the 5th hour as Pouille assumes the role of server, leading 4-3. Additional challenge afforded both in the tiebreak scenario, each with 3. Nadal wasted little time in lifting his hand to issue the challenge, and here's the chase review. Call was out.
Five, 3, Pouille. Nadal has 2 challenges remaining.
They thought it was over. Pouille down a break in the deciding set. How could he possibly hang on in his 3rd consecutive 5-set match? 4 hours and 2 minutes after he began this contest with the 4-seed Nadal, he finds himself with a shot at his 2nd straight quarterfinal at a major. And an upset of the 2-time champion here.
Six, 4, Queen. Doom. Please. Ready for play. Six, 5.
Knowledge and experience and dealing with such pressurized situations. Nadal has indeed been here numerous
Right,
times.
please. Thank you.
A third match point for the Frenchman, this time on his racket.
Please. Right, please. Six all.
Rafa and Luca continue on. And oh my, did this crowd help Nadal. I'll tell you what, Taylor, that first serve almost landed in the practice courts outside of the stadium. I mean, it hit the baseline for all intents and purposes. And you can almost assuredly attribute that to the fact the crowd just gave a real last-second gasp charge for Nadal. And Pouille
He was looking
responded.
for a cheap point. Absolutely. With that forehand and a couple points before, way behind the baseline, trying to wail away on a forehand. He is not wanting to play points right now.
3 match points saved. Pouille's not done at the line. More chance to find his way to match point.
Please.
Well, it'll only be a moment, but you saw how shocked even Rafa was.
7,
And
6.
Pouille has been afforded another lifeline. That one was jarring for Nadal.
Well, if you ask Nadal what type of ball he wants at 6-all in the 5th set breaker, I would like a short, soft, mid-court ball on my forehand side.
Right, please.
It'll require a quick recovery as the Frenchman has match point number 4. Vive la France! Inside Arthur Ashe Stadium. Luca Pouille has done the unthinkable in taking out his first ever top 5 opponent, and it is 2-time US Open champion Rafael Nadal that is his victim. What a magnificent performance from this 22-year-old.
He's legit. I haven't seen him play that much, but after watching the first set, I was like, oh, okay, he can play some tennis. Second set, he looked rough. I was like, okay, now we're going to see Nadal run him in straights here. But he came back in the 3rd and the 5th set, even in the 4th set for a fair bit of the 4th set. He played okay. You know, he got back into it. His level is really, really, really good, and obviously his fitness is pretty good too.
Of the 23,000 or close to it that were here in Arthur Ashe Stadium, not many put a lot of stock in the fact that Pouille could come out here today and even challenge Nadal after back-to-back 5-set matches. But then to go into a 5th set against the Matador from Manacor Well, it was to be for Pouille, and now there are 3 Frenchmen into the quarterfinals for the first time ever at any Grand Slam event, and one of them is Lucas Pouille.
Luca, no one left. Not a single person left while this match went on. The clock says 4 hours and 7 minutes is what it took. What did it take from you?
Everything. Thank you everybody for staying. Thank you very much. It's my first match on the center court against Rafa. It's yeah, I couldn't dream better than this.
We spoke before the match, and you said you just had to find some belief. It was your first ever match on Ash, now the longest match so far on Ash of this US Open. Entering the tiebreak, what was the thought most in your mind?
Well, at 6-3, I was like, okay, you're gonna win this one. And then at 6-hole, it was not the same. But yeah, you cheer, you were behind me. Every point was great, and honestly, I'm very happy, and I'm the most happy on this tournament.
Luca, you've shot up the ranks, you've worked so hard, but what did you learn about yourself today that you might not have known before you played this match?
I just never over until the last point. You know, I was a breakdown in the fifths. I came back, then 6-3 in a tiebreak, he came back. So yeah, it's never done until the last point is over. So yeah, that's it.
Luca Pouille on to the quarterfinals.